Hi, I'm Brian with Florida Spirit Vacation Homes. We're here in Solera Resort by Walt Disney World in one of our beautiful vacation homes. We're going to talk about back-to-backs today, which is when you have a guest departing in the morning and a new guest arriving in the afternoon. Here in Central Florida, it's very common to have a departure time at 10 a.m. and an arrival time at 4 p.m. That does not give us a lot of time to prepare a home for the next guest. What we found over the last 20-some years is there are common concerns the guests have or complaints potentially that we see that are happening with the back-to-back. And we're going to address 3 of those to help better improve guest experience, also to help you as a management company or as a host to kind of deal with these common issues that you're going to hear about. When we have a back-to-back, most of the guests, like I said, are arriving around 4 p.m. They're getting settled in. We operate 24/7, and we actually have guest service staff that works till 1 a.m. live. And we do that because, especially on back-to-backs and on the weekends, we get guest calls that are concerning, but in most cases, it's really a perception or an understanding from the guest that we want to help them with. A main example would be a refrigerator. It is very common on back-to-backs. The guests come in, they settle in, it's now 9, 10 o'clock at night, and we get a phone call, or several phone calls on the weekends, in which the guests are concerned that the refrigerator is not cooling well. They've gone out, they've bought food for 10, 15, 20 people, and they're worried it's going to go bad. So they're calling the office saying the refrigerator or the freezer just don't feel that cool. That is not uncommon. And one of the main reasons for that is on a back-to-back in the morning when the guests depart, a lot of guests for us do drive here to Central Florida. They'll open up these refrigerators, they open up the freezers, and they literally empty everything out, and they'll fill up their coolers and drive home. Or when the cleaners arrive, the cleaners are doing the exact same thing. They're opening this unit up, they're removing ice, they're cleaning them out, they're wiping them out. The refrigerator obviously is losing an enormous amount of energy and air when that's happening. When the cleaners are finished, and again, many times this is hours before the next guest arrives, the next guests come in, the refrigerator's still recovering from being left open that long and cleaned out and everything like that. And the guests arrive, and the first thing they do, open the refrigerator and the freezer, and they proceed to stuff every inch of it, because they're on vacation and they should, predominantly with warm drinks, bottled water, warm alcohol beverages, juice boxes, everything. As they pack these in here, it's going to take time for the refrigerator to recover. One of the things our staff does on back-to-backs is we do carry little laser thermometers, and we'll shoot a laser gun, and our staff will check to make sure that the refrigerator is working properly. We also check the settings. Again, it's not uncommon. Cleaners are moving, their rags are wiping these things out, and they will wipe or touch many times some of the displays or the adjustments for the unit. Some of the refrigerators have LED setups here, so when they're wiping it, they can actually turn the temperature up by mistake. Another thing we do have, which is very common, is the guests will call and say there's something wrong with the refrigerator. The first question we will ask them is, how's the freezer? And most of the time, like, oh, the freezer's great, it's the refrigerator. Most modern refrigerators, like this Whirlpool and the GE units, the side-by-sides, we have a lot of vacation rentals, there's only one cooling unit in this. So if the freezer's cool and the refrigerator is legitimately warm, it's very possible the settings of the refrigerator were touched or messed with by either the cleaners, the guest, and we will instruct the guest to communicate with us about this. Most of the time, these adjustments are really opening and closing a port that permits more cold to come from the freezer into the refrigerator. So if these are blocked by too much food and drink, or if the settings were messed with accidentally, where it's not cool enough, that can affect things. What we're trying to do with all this is, one, assure our guests that all the food that they've purchased and their vacation's not starting off the wrong foot. If we can troubleshoot this without having the expense of sending out a staff member or even an appliance repair company over user error, we want to do that for our homeowners and for our own bottom line balance sheet, of course. The second most common call we get on back-to-backs is the air conditioning. Again, we're here in Central Florida. Today, it's towards the end of May. It's in the mid-90s today. It's very, very warm. And most of our guests are coming from cooler climates, frankly. And just like we talked about a little bit ago with the refrigerator, on a back-to-back, that morning, 8, 10, 15, 20 guests are departing a house. The door's wide open, luggage, everyone's filtering out of the house. Cleaners are arriving. Doors are open, cleaners are coming in, usually several cleaners, bringing in cleaning supplies, vacuums, mops, all the tools of the trade that they need. So they're coming into the house. Then the guests arrive a few hours later, maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon. In that time period, again, the door's wide open, guests are coming in, all their luggage, all their groceries going to the refrigerator we talked about. They're crazy about the pool, so the sliding glass doors being open and closed or being left open, hopefully not. And all of a sudden they settle in and it's 7, 8 o'clock, even 9 o'clock at night. And they're like, wow, it's really warm here. And they go over to the thermostat. And what a lot of times is they'll see it set down at 74 and it's reading 77, 79. And of course, someone's concerned, someone's a little disappointed, they don't want their vacation to go off, start off on the wrong foot. So we get a phone call. We've learned again over 20 years of doing this that we can't just send out an AC repair guy. We can't just immediately want to send out a staff member because most of the time when we did that, frankly, there was nothing wrong. The house needs a legitimate amount of time to recover from all the doors opening and closing, all the bodies coming and going. And in Central Florida, these are central air homes. In many cases, a central air conditioning unit will struggle in Florida to really get more than 20 degrees below the outside temperature. So if it's 90 some degrees outside, the air conditioner is going to be working hard normally to get down into the mid 70s. Now you open up all the doors, the pool, everything going on, and it's not uncommon. So we have to educate guests and talk to them. We have to ask them a couple questions again. Is there an AC vent that they're near that they can confirm that the AC is running? They can feel cool air coming out. We will instruct guests to even go by the air handler in the unit. We'll tell them where it is to make sure we can hear it running. If we go through this basic conversation with the guests and there's still a concern that the unit's not cooling well, at that point we will, of course, in the name of customer service, send someone out immediately. One of the other things we do commonly do, because we do an inspection for every arrival and every departure, and I do understand not everybody has that ability with their company or with their caretaker as a host, but we do carry laser thermometers. They're little laser guns and they shoot a laser thermometer, and our staff will shoot a vent to make sure that it's coming out at 60 some degrees at the vent in order to make sure it's working properly. That is part of our normal summer protocol on back-to-backs. One of the most important things you can do is you can have your staff or your housekeeper, your caretaker, whoever's helping you at the house, take a picture of each thermostat in the house before they leave between the guests. So that way, an example, our after-hours staff, if they take a phone call, a guest saying that it's 82 in the house and it's set to 74, we have a picture of the thermostat earlier before all the people were coming and going and doors were left open and everything. We'll have a picture of the thermostat showing 76, 74, set at 74. We knew it was working properly. Also, if our staff is checking that, because they have to, and take a picture of it, they're now cognizant of, hey, there's maybe something wrong with the AC. And of course, our staff is trained on ACs on how to confirm it's working properly before they leave. And the third, and probably most common call we get, particularly in winter months, on back-to-backs, is from arriving guests that the pool heater isn't working properly. This is the majority of the phone calls we get between November and May, without doubt. And it's a challenging one because the guest is not incorrect with their expectation. Guests book the home, they're coming on vacation, they arrive, they expect that pool to be almost like a bath. Well, if it's a back-to-back and the last guest did not have pool heat already on, we were just turning it on a few hours ago. And you're talking anywhere from 10 to 12,000 gallons of water in these pools, and most of them are electric heat pumps, and it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of energy to heat that pool. So when guests do show up and they said, hey, we just got here, everything's wonderful, everything's great, but the pool heater's not working, the pool's cold, we have to be able to look at them and say, hey guys, the pool heater was actually just turned on for your arrival. It is going to take a little bit of time to heat up. We do have a picture with our inspections as well of the pool heater properly turned on and set properly and working. Our staff will not leave a house prior to guest arrival without confirming that pool heater is working properly. But that is something that you have to be ready to address if you're in the Central Florida market with the pool heaters. Thank you again for watching. Hopefully you found value in this, and the expertise and things we've learned over the years can help you ensure your guests have a good stay and limit the number of call-outs or maintenance calls you need to go out to a house. If you found it valuable, please subscribe below. If you have any questions or needs or anything, please reach out to us either through here or directly at Florida Spirit. We'd love to help any way we can. Thank you.